Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So it has been reported that the best weapons for healing don't actually work to give you overall outgoing healing. At least that's what it shows on your stat page. And that is indeed correct. We check overall outgoing healing 91.7. If we switch over to say breaking our weapon set, our overall outgoing healing is 91.7 still. Therefore, it does not seem to actually give us anything with regards to the 5% outgoing healing as shown in the tooltip there at the very beginning. However, this could very well just be an error and it's not being added to this stat, which is just a display. It could still work behind the scenes. But we can go in combat and we can immediately see that we start obtaining these dark light stacks through the weapons and our overall outgoing healing starts increasing. But that is the secondary benefit from these weapons, as you can see with the bottom section there, where you gain 0.6% per stack up to 10 stacks, and that can be doubled again in wild space, and this being when in combat with a single opponent. So ultimately what we have to do is actually go and check our heal values, because it could just not be displayed here, as that is indeed the case with something say like the opal ring. It's a specific situational heal. It's not going to display with your overall outgoing healing because it's only going to affect some abilities, so it would be misleading if it showed that and then it didn't actually contribute to some of your heals. But you'd think something that's just a general 5% to everything would work. So again, we'll go in combat here, we'll get all of these dark light stacks, and we can see our overall outgoing healing 97.7%. If we look at the heal formula right here, we can see our expected heal value would be 1.046 million with our Bastion of Health if we just heal one target, because 1600 magnitude. So we can check that just by getting hit here and then simply healing ourselves. We can see 1.07 million, the exact number right there, 1.072871, which is actually higher than what we're seeing here because we actually have 5% extra outgoing healing that is not displayed, up to 102.7, which is pretty much exactly what we're seeing, except like tiny slight off just due to rounding of numbers. Therefore, you can see we do indeed gain that 5% from the weapon bonus. As you can see, when we do critically heal, that matches exactly with the math, with a 5% increase from these weapons. We can check everything else and that's everything calculated for, and the only thing was missing was that 5% from here. Other abilities are like this too. For example, Hollowed Guide on Cleric also will not show on our outgoing healing right here. It's still 97.7, so you might think it doesn't work, but it does. You just have to be within 15 feet of any target that is an ally, and you will gain that bonus even when you're healing yourself, as we'll see here. 1.1 million now, 1.099 to be exact, which would be another 5% increase up to 107.7, and we can see that is indeed correct. I've also had somebody come to me and say there's potentially a cap with outgoing healing, maybe 105%, that we're struggling to get any higher no matter what they used. But as far as I can determine, that is also indeed false, as we can trigger our heal bonuses here and we can end up with like 135% right there. So there does not seem to be a cap with that. And if we want to actually check our heal value when we have that much, we get hit here, we use our heal spell, 1.3 million to be exact, 1.29 at 145% outgoing healing. And yes, we are displaying on our character sheet again 135%, but we have an extra 5% from these weapons, which just doesn't show, and an extra 5% from this, which just doesn't show. Overall, these weapons are absolutely the best you can use right now for healing on a healer, and they do indeed work to their fullest extent. The reason they're the best is because, first of all, the base damage of 275, this does indeed affect our healing. You can see our total goes to nearly 11,000 there at just 97 item level, and as per the formula, it's right there. It contributes directly to the amount you heal for. And then you will just gain 5% total outgoing healing, not shown to add to your stats as we saw there, which is correct, is a bug, and it should be shown, but at least it works. And then if you're in a boss fight, you can gain another 6% overall outgoing healing, and if you're in wild space, that's actually 12%. And on top of that, if you're not in scaled content, these weapons are the highest item level in the game of 3,000 each. Absolutely, there's no question. These are right now the best to be using for healers who want to just increase their raw healing potential. That's not always the optimal way to go, since if everybody's full HP, then there's no real point like increasing your healing further, right? So there's a balance, and what you can use instead is like team support weapons. Weaver are a good option if you play that trial and get them, but then there are the Dorgar mercenary weapons, which you can use to increase your base damage boost of all of your allies, which can be very nice, along with their overall outgoing healing and damage reduction by reducing the incoming damage they take. But again, you will definitely miss out on quite a bit of healing by taking those instead. And of course, sure, you can use the Xeraxian weapons. They're a little bit worse than the Void Touched, but only very slightly. And these Xeraxian ones you can get just by jumping into the advanced Imperial Citadel dungeon, which you only need 65,000 on public queue, and if you go on private queue, you can actually get that to 60,000. So you can fairly comfortably beat that if you have a decent team, and you can get yourself some of the best weapons in the game, the Xeraxian ones. They still have the exact same set bonus. All they have different is a tiny bit of less item level and 250 base damage instead of 275. Still the best ones you can use for that raw outgoing healing. But sure, I do recommend getting your magma weapons if you're completely new and can get into that zone as soon as you hit level 20, because you can get there regardless of your item level, and you'll just complete the storyline a bit, do some questing, and you can grab those weapons, and they'll be suitable for getting you started. The decent power boost there and the outgoing healing will help. But yes, I do recommend jumping into the Imperial Citadel, grabbing the Xeraxian ones on advanced, and later you can get the Void Touched. And just use like all the raw outgoing healing boosts until you're comfortable with your healing. From there, you can switch to team support wherever you feel is fine for you. But your priority as a healer is to make sure everybody's alive by being full HP. After that, consider getting team support buffs like increasing the damage they can output. Helps a lot to get through content faster, but if people are dying, that's then just a lot worse than giving them a little bit of a damage boost. Better to keep them alive first. So once again, thanks for watching. A special thank you to all these channel members for your extra support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.